Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Hope you're having a lovely day. Hope you can see me okay. It's pitch black outside, so I'm filming this really late in the day. I normally do it really early, but I've got a ring light, I've got two lights on me, so I'm hoping you can see me. So I'm just going to dive right into this video, as I think it's going to be so helpful to some of you who have suffered from cystic acne like I did. I have got some other videos up on my channel regarding my adult acne. I had to go on Roaccutane isotretinoin treatment this year. This is my skin now with just no foundation, just a bit of bronzer, blush and highlight, no concealer, no nothing. So as you can see, it's helped me no end. However, touch wood it is right now. God, it's just so out this top. Oh, wrong one. What am I doing? So I'm hoping it stays this way. You never know what's going to hold, what the future holds. But however, right now I'm really happy with my skin. May change, hoping it doesn't. Fingers crossed it stays good. But I wanted to tell you and show you all the concealers that I thought were so good at covering cystic acne, not little teeny blemishes. Though I have a few here that can do that as well, of course. But I wanted to share with you the concealers I thought were fantastic and the best, and I mean the best, for covering adult cystic, red, acne that's raging, that's painful, that you need something with completely full coverage. A lot of these ones, you'll see a lot of concealers that are like with the wand that you put on under your eyes, and that they're not gonna, especially from like Rimmel and more the high street brands, that is not going to cut it if you've got severe cystic acne. I mean, I used to put foundation on and then put my concealer on over the top, and the reason I did that was because if I put the concealer on and then put my foundation on afterwards, all the concealer would mess up and go away and wouldn't be there covering all the places I needed it to cover. So first things first, I wanted to give advice for people trying to cover up their acne is you will need, ideally, use a primer, as that will stop you getting, especially us people with acne unfortunately suffer with oily skin, so ideally you need to use some kind of primer. Benefit Professional is pretty good, and then you need to then obviously moisturize, put your primer on, foundation, concealer, powder. If you've got acne, you must use a powder to set that in place, and then if you want to go real full hog out there and go crazy and want that makeup to not budge, use a setting spray. Many out there, Urban Decay do, I think it's called All Nighter, which is supposed to be pretty good, so something like that. But I would just today want to talk to you about the concealers, which I think are fantastic, or the best that I found anyway, for covering adult acne and severe cystic acne. Really, not adult acne, well of course, because I'm an adult, I'm in my 30s and I suffered from acne, and this is the ones that I thought were the best and gave the best coverage and lasted the longest. I'm going to tell you which ones I think are better than others with these here. I've only got really four, which I would recommend. The others I just don't actually, the ones I've tried I just don't think are good enough. So these ones here I found to be pretty damn good. I'm going to start off with, I have two here from Estee Lauder, one from Dermablend, and this is from Keramask. So these two here, Covermark, sorry, not Keramask, Covermark here, as you can see, I bought this in the store. I can't remember, I got it in London somewhere, but you can get Covermark products really easily now online. If you're not sure what shade you are, get one of these little pallets. I can't remember what they're called, but I got the light one, and basically there's a little bit of a sticker in there, and you can sort of then decide which colour you like. And also, if you're just using it to clear up blemishes, and not clear up, but to cover blemishes and not put it all over your face, this can actually last a pretty long time. Okay, so let me just show you this. I do not remember how much this cost. I think it must have been around about £15, which isn't that bad considering all of the different colours you sort of get in there. And you can choose your shade, mix and match them as well, which is really good with this product, is that you get all these concealers here, and you can... Sorry about that, my camera just died, typical while I'm doing a video. So I just wanted to, and I do hope this lighting's okay, it might be a bit poo, wanted to go through with you the concealers from the best to the not as good, if that makes sense. I'm going to start off with this one. This is Covermark, as I was showing you before. You can get these easily online, and this is in the light shade. Now, as you can see here, you get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 different concealers. I don't know why them two are blank there. Odd, isn't it? So anyway, as you can see, this was for the light shade. As you can see, you get some dark ones in there as well. And what's good, if you are super light, what's good is you get this white colour, so you can blend it in with the concealers. Now, this is a very good full coverage foundation. It wasn't my concealer, really. It wasn't my favourite. My favourite would be the very last one, but this is pretty good. It's very creamy. As you can see, look, this is quite a light shade. This is the one here. and I'll show you a little bit. So you can see it's quite, quite full coverage. You can see that on there. So, and these are quite easy to blend out. They last pretty well. Quite full coverage. I'd say it's very good. It's very, very good. If you have, say, medium acne, mild acne, this will be perfect for you. Severe acne, it will be okay. But I do think there's better ones out there, personally. So it would still be okay. It'd still be good for you. However, not my favourite, so but still really highly commended. All these ones here are very highly commended, and I'd recommend them all, but some are just better than others. So that's that one. If you want to try that one out, easy to find online. Okay, the next one I have here is an absolute mess. It is, let me shake it. One thing of this one, you have to shake it sometimes. It's Keramask. You can get these easily online, and this is in the shade Light. Now this is very, very good at covering those nasty bright red spots. However, their light is not what I call really, really light. They do a white colour, which will probably be good for you to get as well if you're super pale to blend in with it. So this is the colour. I don't know if you can see how well that one is on screen. And you do have to shake this one up. If you haven't used it in a while, you need to shake it up, because it can kind of separate. There's two sort of elements in this, and it tends to separate a bit. So let me just show you what this looks like. This is in the shade Light, as far as I'm aware, or Extra Light. The actual name has rubbed off from what I can see. Sorry, yes it has, but it's either Light or Extra Light. It was the lightest one I could get from, other than the white shade. So let me just this is quite thick as well. Obviously, you have, like I said, you have to shake it. So this is what this looks like. First of all, quite a nice thick. What you do really want, I think, when you've got bad acne, you need a thicker concealer. Ones that are light and too runny aren't going to work, so not going to cover. But this was pretty good. Now let me just show you how this looks. So as you can see what I mean, it covers very, very well. It's got a very kind of pinky tone to it, however. So you may need to even get 3 of these shades if you liked it, like a yellowier shade and the white, because as you can see, their fair to me isn't the fairest you can actually get, you know. So, but it was still very, very good at covering, you know, bad, you know, spots that I used to get. Wasn't my favourite, but it's still up there. So let me just wipe this off. But it was still pretty good. Now, the next one I'm going to come to. These are like my top 4 concealers, as I said, for cystic acne, is Estee Lauder Double Wear, and this was in, I got the shade 1N Extra Light Neutral. This is pretty good. It is pretty good and nice. This is a bit more suitable for me, more yellowier kind of shade. Very pale, but obviously it depends what time of year as well. Sometimes in the summer you might have slightly darker skin tone than you do in the winter, but this was pretty good. Nice and very easy to blend, this one. As you can see, it's pretty full coverage, very light. Their light actually is very light. Again, this was very good for covering those cystic acne pimples. So as you can see here, I'll just put this on my thumb. Covers pretty well. It really does cover pretty well. Again, not my favourites, but I'd recommend everyone with cystic acne to try all of these, because what someone might prefer more than something else. Everyone's different, aren't they? And also it depends on your severity of acne. Only you know how bad your acne is, you know. So anyway, but my favourite, may I mention, cover, you know, whatever you want to call it, for acne concealer foundation is this. It's the Estee Lauder Double Wear Maximum Cover Camouflage Makeup for Face and Body. This is fantastic, will cover everything, really goes on well, stays all day. Fantastic, fantastic, fantastic. And also what you shouldn't do, don't get this mixed up with their Double Wear foundation. This is different. This is their Estee Lauder Double Wear Maximum Cover Camouflage Makeup for Face and Body. And as you can see here, this shade I got was Creamy Vanilla in 1N3, I think that is, or whatever that is, but you can see that there. One thing I would say about these these camouflage makeups, they don't come up pale enough. So you may need to get, say for example, like one of the Covermark whites, or Keramask also do a white shade, to mix it in with it. It will cover perfectly fine, but I will warn you now, these do not come up as well as they used to. They used to, yonks ago, they were like this. This is how the packaging has changed over the years. I've still got this in my stash from years ago. You shouldn't probably be using this on your face, but it's been in the store cupboard. It's been in a cool place. I know it's going to be fine. It's not going to damage me in any way, shape or form, but their old shades are a lot better, a lot lighter. Covered the same, but just, you know, the colour was better for me as I'm very, very pale. These are waterproof as well, so if you want waterproof makeup, this would be great. You still will need to set these, however. So let me just show you, you know, how this looks. So you get, this is expensive as well. I can't remember how much this is. I'm sure it's over £20. So, but remember, if you just get a few pimples, this is going to last you over a year. Might be longer than that. It won't last you as long, obviously, if you're going to put your foundation on and put this over all the spots that you need to cover. But this was my saviour. This is what I always kind of went to when I had severe acne. And then also, you can also, even though this might not match you exactly, well, if you put a face powder on that's slightly lighter, don't go too light because you're going to look funny, but a bit lighter, you can kind of get it to blend in with your skin tone anyway. So let me give this a little bit of a shake as well, because I haven't used this in a while. I always recommend you shaking them a bit, just in case any of the ingredients separate a bit in there. This one doesn't tend to do that as much, but let me just show you. This is the best, to me, was the best coverage. It's quite a thick, as you can see here. Let me show when I'm popping it out of the tube. Quite a thick concealer. And this to me still was, as you can see what I mean right now, if I show you here, not relatively light, but I managed to get it to blend in. If I put foundation on, put this on the top, then put a powder on, I managed to get it to blend in pretty well. Otherwise, what I would do, I would mix this double wear concealer, which is lighter, with this, and it worked really, really good. The only, like I said, it's such a shame that the shades aren't really, really pale, but this to me still gives me the best coverage out of everything I've tried. I mean, I'm not saying there aren't other things out there, so let me just show you the difference. This is 04, I don't know if this is the same one actually, because I used to have you know, I'm not sure actually, but in the older shades, in the old style years ago, they used to have another shade which was extra light, I think, and that was a lot better, you know, for my skin tone. So my favourite concealer for covering severe cystic acne is this one, the Estee Lauder Double Wear Camouflage, Maximum Cover Camouflage Makeup for Face and Body. This is fab, but what you have to remember, you must set this with, if you don't want any more extra coverage, use a translucent powder, dust it over, because you need something to set the makeup in place. Otherwise, what you've put on, especially if you're oily, it's going to end up sliding everywhere. Even if you use a setting spray, I think it's always best to use the powder, then the setting spray over the top. You just don't want that foundation or concealer to budge. I know what it's like. I used to have I've had terrible acne. I was on Roaccutane, isotretinoin. I know what it's like when you feel you need to cover everything, and it's obviously, you may have the texture there still, but at least the colour is all one colour, your skin is all one skin tone. But so as you can see, and this does oxidise a little bit, so I put this on my skin a few minutes ago, and as you can see, it does go a bit darker. I'd say this one doesn't oxidise as much. This one definitely doesn't, the Estee Lauder Double Wear concealer. And I'd say the Keramas did a little bit, so just to bear that in mind. And from what I remember, this one didn't as much. But like I said, what you could do, you could get one of these as well, to get your perfect shade, or the Keramas do a white shade. Get this white colour, blend it in with that colour, and you can get your own custom skin tone. I'd maybe recommend getting this one. It's easier to use, but like I said, most people aren't as pale as me. I've got bronzer on right now, so you can't see how pale I am. So anyway, my favourite concealer to use for cystic acne is the Maximum Cover, and you can do from Estee Lauder Camouflage Makeup for Face and Body, and they tend to do it in all of the sort of department stores in the UK. The problem is they don't always tend to have it on the shelf. You have to ask them. I don't know why they don't have it on the shelf and why it's not advertised as much, because it is a fab product, but you will have to ask the sort of assistant to get the colours out for you, because they don't tend to have it on the shelf. Don't go in there, don't see it and think that it's not there. Ask them. It will be there, I promise you, and unless it's out of stock and they'll have to order it in, but they are there. Even when I've been to the airport and they don't have it out, you ask them, they've got it under the counter. It's crazy stuff. So anyway, I hope you've enjoyed this video, and I really do hope it's useful to people who actually need full coverage concealers for cystic, nasty, bright red pimples. And I'll tell you another thing these would be good for, covering birthmarks. This would be perfect for covering a birthmark. as well, because the coverage is so fantastic. So I do hope you enjoyed the video and found it useful. Please subscribe if you're new and give me a thumbs up, and let me know how you get on. If any of you try the Estee Lauder Double Wear Camouflage Concealer Face Makeup, whatever you want to call it, let me know how you get on. I'd love to hear from you, and I hope you have a lovely day.